I came with a couple of questions this morning for Malcolm Turnbull, and listening to the speakers gone before me, I've got many more. When you have a look at this country, and when you bring people to Canberra, and you hear these stories of hardship, you have to ask a number of questions. Why, Malcolm, in the space of 3 years, are you now presiding over a job crisis? Why, Malcolm, in the last 3 years, have you created a society of exclusivity for the rich and the rest can be damned? Why, Malcolm, are you ignoring the high youth unemployment around this country while systematically closing down the training institutions that give them the very chance to get a real job and a career? Why, Malcolm, are you void of any fuel security policy that puts seafarers on the scrap heap? Why, Malcolm, are you find it okay to have seafarers on another ship forcefully removed by private security guards when the companies that presided over that ship and owned that ship have been fined $361 million for corruption? Why, Malcolm, the investors of that very same company, one of them earned $5 billion in this country, earned $5 billion and paid zero tax. So why are you presiding over a tax base that is ever shrinking while letting your mates in big business pay zero tax? Why, Malcolm, do you find it okay to bank your wealth in a foreign country that is notorious for those kinds of principles of tax evasion? Why don't you bring your wealth here and pay the just tax on that? Why, Malcolm? Why, Malcolm, do we have to come to Canberra to put the bleeding obvious to you? The last question I've got, Malcolm, is why the hell should we vote you and your government back in at this election? Thanks.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us this morning. There are obviously lots more questions we could ask for Malcolm. I've got a few of my own. Are you going to give money back to the Australia Council, or are you happy to keep taking money away from arts and culture and stripping theatre companies? Hey, Malcolm, are you ever going to deliver that NBN you promised? Because I have a feeling that was your responsibility. There are lots of parts of this country don't have it. What are you going to do about regional development? What are you going to do about transport? What are you going to do about climate change, Malcolm? Why are we one of the countries, when we have a jobs crisis now after 3 years of Liberal government, are we not looking at climate change and going, we can fix that, we can build that, we can create manufacturing jobs in this country, good solid jobs that will keep communities alive? Malcolm, who are you? What do you stand for? What are you doing for any of us? And why on earth have we had to come all the way to Canberra and put up 10-foot signs to point out to you what should be obvious? Now, I've got some good news for everybody. We've been here since, about 5 o'clock in the morning, some of us. It's been a bit muddy, it's been a bit wet. We also had an interesting neighbourly conversation with our friends, the owner drivers. But we have, of course, been the #1 trending topic on Twitter. Because it turns out there, beyond this lawn, there's a community of people who actually care about what happens to other Australians, who actually care about jobs, who actually care about Medicare and schools and TAFEs and hospitals and about all the services that we need in order to be a happy and healthy community. So give yourselves a huge round of applause. That brings us to the end of proceedings. It has been an absolute honour to be with all of you. I'm going to turn it around so I can look at you all. It has been an absolute honour to meet the speakers, the volunteers and everybody who put this event together. It looks beautiful. And I'd like, if you've got a camera in your pocket, take it out of your pocket, take a photo, get these photos up, put them on Facebook, put them on Instagram, put them on Twitter, because we create the media for our own stories. We can't always rely on other people to tell our stories for us. But to our communities, our friends and our families, this is going to make the difference in the federal election to come. Let's put our questions for Malcolm, make them the #1 issue for everybody we're talking to. You are a wonderful, wonderful people, and I've got great hope for the future of this country. Give yourselves a round of applause.